last night, game one of the NBA Finals. Um, Watched it over at Jake's house with a few friends. The Celtics won that game 120-108 after an insane fourth quarter where they outscored the Warriors 40-16. I think it was tied the second largest outscoring in the fourth quarter in an NBA Finals game ever with 24 points. Al Horford, Derek White played exceptionally well in the fourth quarter. And if you just take the points that Al Horford and Jaylen Brown scored in the fourth quarter, which was 21 combined points, then they still would have beat the Warriors or they still would have outscored the Warriors by 5 in the fourth quarter. And Jake, anything you want to add there?
Yeah, that was a crazy game. I had Warriors in 5. I don't know what Cole had. It's not looking like that now. But after the first quarter, when Curry was almost outscoring the Celtics himself, you kind of thought things were going to go different. But I've never seen a fourth quarter like that. And as much as I watch sports, and we both watch sports, that was absolutely incredible. Because the Warriors, was that their first home loss?
Yeah, that was their first. That was their first home loss this playoffs.
So they don't lose at home. That place was probably shocked to see them lose by double digits, let alone lose at home.
Yeah.
But when you shoot, do we got what they shot from 3 in the fourth quarter? I don't know if they missed.
Well, there was a time where the Celtics were 7-7 from 3 in the fourth quarter, and then they missed one after that. I can pull it up here real quick.
So 7 of 7. That's hard to compete with. I mean, even when you got the greatest shooter of all time in Stephen Curry, and which in the first quarter he made 6 threes, and then he made 1 the rest of the game.
Yeah, and he only scored 13 points after the first quarter.
Yeah, which, I mean, he was on pace to score what? Well, 21 in 80.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that shit never works. But he had an incredible first quarter himself. And I don't know, I still think the Warriors win this series. I don't know about Cole, but I remember watching the Bulls in the playoffs a while back, and they always seemed to win game 1, and then they didn't win another game the rest of the series. So I don't know what it is about game 1s. They're weird. You're feeling each other out, but to think Golden State's not going to make this a series would be foolish. And
well, I agree with you, but just watching, obviously game 1, like you said, but just watching the game last night, I mean, the Celtics seemed to play way more physical.
Yeah.
And, their role players played exceptionally better than the role players of the Warriors. I mean, Thompson had 15 points and Draymond had a couple of points, double-digit rebounds. But the only guy who really showed up for the Warriors last night, other than Curry, as far as doing more than he normally does, would be Wiggins. But then when you look at the Celtics, like I said, those other guys played a lot better. They played a lot more physical. I just don't know if the Warriors are going to be able to bring that to the table.
Yeah, you're going to need more from Klay Thompson. I mean, I understand he had 15, but sometimes he has 15 in a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
He can't have that in 4 quarters for the Warriors to beat the Celtics. But the Celtics are not going to shoot that good every game,
No.
The rest of the series. So what happens when they're not making threes? Because the Warriors kind of had control of that game, the whole entire game, until the fourth quarter. So when they weren't making those threes that crazy, the Warriors had control of them. So if they're not going to shoot that good, is the outcome going to be the same that it was in the first 3 quarters of game 1? I mean, we don't know, but they will not shoot 7 of 7 from 3 again, I don't think. I mean, that's insane.
No.
And to go on a 17-0 run in 1 quarter, let alone the fourth quarter at Golden State, it's absolutely remarkable and incredible. Nobody's taking that away from them. But can you duplicate that? I don't think they can.
I don't think so either. I was reading a tweet by Seth Greenberg today on Get Up, and he said that the Celtics this postseason have been one of the worst fourth quarter teams. So everybody, including us, was shocked by how well they played in the fourth last night. But I think one thing the Warriors are going to have to adjust to is the face guarding that the Celtics were doing to Curry. I mean, Curry, obviously, he runs around all game. I don't know how many miles a game he runs. But once they couldn't get the ball to Curry, it was like nobody else could do anything. And Poole didn't do anything last night, and nobody else seems to really create their own shot. Klay can, but he's more of a guy who catches and shoots and does things off screens. So the Celtics, in my opinion, have way more guys who can spread the floor as well as guard any position and just
Well, when
with their length, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart. I just think they're deeper.
I said last night during the game, I said that the Warriors were kind of smaller. So I don't know if they ended up getting out rebounded, but you can just tell that they're smaller. They don't really have that true center.
Mm-hmm.
But and Draymond Green, look, I know he's not an offensive threat, but he's going to have to give them more because he had I don't know if he probably had 4 or 5 wide open shots last night. And I don't think he made one. Like, he's got to make those shots because they're so worried about Thompson and Curry that he's the one that gets left wide open. And if he's making shots, then that's when they won't lose, which I don't think they lose a game the rest of the series. I think they're that good, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I don't know. The Warriors, they're going to have to step up, obviously. But, Jake, yesterday the Cubs won again, 7-5.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
They're on kind of a little bit of a hot streak. But I said this from the start. I said that the Cubs are going to win a few games in a row, and then they're going to lose a lot in a row because they're just not consistent. The players aren't consistent enough. But they've lost a lot of one-run games. And they're playing well. They got 4 more this weekend versus the Cardinals. So can you just split and then you win the series 3-2? You split with first place Milwaukee. I know you missed all the studs in their rotation, but that's not the Cubs' fault. And I don't know that they're playing well. We don't have Seiya Suzuki right now. Contreras got beamed last night in the foot. They said the X-rays were negative. That's good. Don't know if he's going to be back. He's not in the lineup today. Hopefully he's back in there tomorrow when I'm at the game, but it doesn't look like it.
Time do they play today?
They play at 1:20 today, and then they got a doubleheader tomorrow at 12:20 and 6:20. And then they close out Sunday on Sunday Night Baseball. I don't know the time of that. It's probably like 6:08 or some dumb time like that. But
how many games they won in a row? Just 2 or 3?
3.
Yeah. Well, Morel last time was the first time I really watched him. I did see his walk-off sack fly, but last night was the first time I really watched him, and I can see why people like him. He brings the energy, sort of like Javi brings or brought, and I can tell why people like him. And then one thing, about Contreras, we've talked about this a few times. He's the best catcher in baseball right now statistically, but we know the Cubs. We know what they did last year. I don't think there's any way he's still in the Cubs after the All-Star break.
Yeah, and see, that's just downright pathetic by the Cubs, but he's probably right. It's absolutely pathetic that they don't want to re-sign a 20. Did we figure out
30.
his age? A 30-year-old catcher now. Now look, that
3-4 year deal.
He didn't come up till year 2016, so it's not like he's been here forever. And Wilson Contreras is like a different 30-year-old. Like you still don't see him like going down at all. Like it just seems like he's getting more on his throws behind the plate. Like he seems like when he runs, he's just like, I don't know why they don't want to sign him. It makes no sense. He's one of the best catchers in the league that does it on both sides.
Yeah.
A lot of catchers don't hit that good. He hits. And and then what he brings to like the other players, like him boosting Morel up on that sack fly, telling him to breathe. You can see it.
Yeah,
they showed it.
Yeah.
He's everything you want in a player. He wants to be here, and the goddamn Cubs don't want him here, and it makes no sense.
Well, we got to thank the Ricketts for that. Just briefly, what did you think of that? The guy yesterday who knocked down. They were building that cup pyramid.
Oh yeah, that guy's a major douche. And I don't understand because the game before versus the Brewers during the 7th inning stretch, they had one going from the what's it called? At
Basket?
Wrigley. They had it going from the basket all the way to the video board. So they need to make up their mind if they're going to let these fans, who are the best fans in professional sports, do a cup pyramid or not. When the Cubs suck, so let them do something good. Or let them have fun. That guy.
That was probably $500 a beer.
Oh, geez.
A beer, that they just knocked down.
Probably more. I'd like to know how much money I think they did an estimate a couple years ago of how much money if you go from the bottom of the bleachers to the top.
With the cup snake?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact amount, but it was an absolutely insane amount of money.
It was probably at least a couple grand.
Oh yeah, I think it was more. But yeah, that guy's a douche, and they need to let them do that.
Yeah. So hopefully we keep seeing the Cubs do better. And I mean, maybe the way they're playing right now.
I mean, they're 3-0. I mean, they've beat the first and second team in the division 3 games in a row, and the Cubs are not that good. So
it's early, but do you think they have a chance in hell at a wild card spot?
Well, they're only 4 games out, so it's hard to say no, because with how their season's gone, where they go on a winning streak, then they go on a losing streak. If they go on enough of a winning streak, I mean, maybe they can hang around till All-Star break and be like 5, 6, 7 games out, which gives you something to play for in the second half. But this team's confusing, and it's confusing which way they want to go for next year. Like, I mean, how many people are going to be on this team next year? If you're trying to win next year, do you have any pieces besides Contreras, Seiya?
Contreras probably not going to be there.
I love Nico Horner. I love Christopher Morel now. I think Ian Happ could be on a team that wins, and I think he could do very well. Ian Happ's been arguably the best Cub all year, productive-wise. And it's absolutely pathetic. I'm not going to go on a rant about how they don't know what they want to do, because I could talk about it for 45 minutes. But it's disgusting. But we should not be in this spot ever. Period. The Cubs should never be in a spot like this.
Well, we see all the other teams spend, and they're all.
Especially when they're the
New York teams, the Dodgers. I mean, they're all in the top 5, 10 teams of baseball.
Like the revenue that Wrigley Field creates from just one game. From one game that Wrigley Field creates, probably 27 of the other ballparks create that same amount of revenue in 2 series. So I don't like to hear that the Cubs need to rebuild. The Cubs need to let the younger guys grow. Bullshit. Pay people, spend the money. Like, why not try to win? And if it doesn't work out, at least you can say you tried.
Yeah.
They don't even try. They don't care.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it.
Well, hopefully things get better, but who knows with the Ricketts still in charge. But last week after our episode, Illinois got a transfer from Baylor, Matthew Meyer, right?
Yeah, I think it's Meyer. It might be Mayer. It's probably Meyer. But
he was on that championship team with Baylor a few years ago.
Last year, it says he averaged 10 points a game, 5 rebounds, but he shot 32% from 3, which I think that was down from his championship year. So what he brings to the table, he's 6'10". I think he can probably play multiple positions. I don't know what he'll play for Illinois right now.
Probably the 3 or the 4 spot.
Yeah.
Probably the 4 spot, right? I mean, he's a pretty good passer, doesn't he? Do a lot of that passing, screening.
We stole him from UNC, which it was between UNC and Illinois, which, I didn't think that I did not think he was going to come when I seen UNC was in the mix, but I don't know what Illinois said, or maybe he thought he was going to play more on Illinois, but this portal has been pretty solid for Illinois. Brad Underwood has adapted and changed. What Illinois lost last year, it kind of looked like you didn't know what they were going to be this year, because they were going to be really young, but this portal has helped them majorly. I mean they're a top 15 program right now, and they weren't like a month ago before all these guys came. And it's going to be between them and Indiana, I think, for a Big Ten championship again. I think Illinois, the only reason I'm giving Illinois the edge is because of what they've done the last 3 years. Why can't it continue? So they're going to be good. I think they're going to be really good. They're going to be, if Sky Clark, I think they have potential. I think this has potential to be one of the best Illinois teams ever, because Kofi's not and I don't mean this in a bad way, but Kofi's not clogging up the middle. So teams aren't going to be able to say, stop Kofi and you have a good chance to beat Illinois, which even when you stopped Kofi last year, Illinois still found a way to win, and that's all because of Brad Underwood.
Yeah, but 5 out will be nice, especially with the point guard like Clark. Let him do
that's what I
gonna
mean.
do.
Like they're gonna, when he gets into the lane next year, and teams are gonna be bringing double teams, like he's gonna be able to get it to shooters, and like I think they're gonna be a high-powered offense next year. I don't know how good defensively they'll be, but knowing Brad Underwood and his mindset, what he thinks, I think they'll be just fine defensively because he doesn't accept anything but good. And it's just amazing where this program is at again with Brad, and how they're going to be very good for the 4th year in a row. And I can't wait to watch them.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So going forward, I think that just to end on this, we'll end on our finals predictions for the rest. I already picked the Warriors to win the finals, so I'm going to stick with that. I'm not going to change, but they do need a lot of things to change for them to end up winning this series.
Yeah, they obviously need to defend better. But I still think the Warriors win in 5. I mean, probably realistically 6, because I think Boston can get one at home. I think it's going to be 2-2 going to Game 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see the Warriors rattling off 4 wins in a row. I mean, and if there's a team to do it, what they've done the last, I don't know, whatever historical run they're on, they're the team to win 4 in a row.
Yeah. So next week, not sure if we'll have an episode or not. Jake, you still be on vacation?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if we'll have an episode or not next week, but make sure to like and subscribe and leave any comments down below. So thank you.